Today, I'm going to be showing you 5 different Facebook retargeting ads to show you how you can make more money off Facebook, more money off running ads. And if you watch till the end of this video, you're going to literally discover what I learned pretty much after spending millions of dollars on Facebook ads. I'm going to be walking you through exact campaigns, exact ads, how it looked like, and show you exactly why is it that when you understand retargeting and the messaging behind retargeting, and when you understand these, there's only 5 main types of retargeting ads that you should be utilizing. Your ad campaigns are going to be significantly a lot more profitable. First of all, let me just kind of refresh this to get you some of the latest numbers as well as data. Okay, so as you can see here from this ad account, we have spent literally, over $1 million on this ad account alone. And if you take a look at every single campaign, we are always tracking a very important number, a very important metric, which is the cost per result. Now, what is the cost per result? Well, the result could be a sale, it could be a lead, it could be a phone call, depending on your nature of business. The most common one would be leads and purchase. So if you were to take a look at all these different campaigns, I'm going to walk you through all the different campaigns. If you take a look at our cold audiences, meaning people who don't know who we are, versus retargeting campaigns where, just like this one and this one, okay, you can see that they're all targeting and promoting the same product. In this case here is a product of ours called $1 Million Ads. And you can see that when we target a completely cold audience, meaning people don't know who we are, and every time, for example, this campaign, which is totally cold, you can see that it might cost us $61 to acquire a sale. And I know that on this funnel here, approximately they're worth about $120 upfront. But however, if we were targeting an audience through our retargeting ads, you can see that it costs approximately sometimes 3 times less, or in this case here, 6 times less. Okay, so the first takeaway here is to always understand that the money is always made in retargeting, not targeting. So what is retargeting? Retargeting is basically sending people to the next step of the sales process. Okay, so let me just quickly explain to you how it actually works on a surface level. And then after that, we're going to go deep into exactly what these ads might look like and why you definitely want to have this as part of your ad campaigns if you want to significantly increase the profitability of your ads. Hey everybody, this is Peng Joon here, and today I wanted to go in depth with you on this strategy. And if you are new to this, you might want to consider subscribing to the channel if you want to be able to take your Facebook marketing strategies, where I'm going to be revealing to you all of the latest things that we're doing behind the scenes, not based on theory, but based on actual campaigns, based on actual money that we're spending on promoting our own products. And that's you. And if you like to be able to understand this, not from a theoretical standpoint, but from somebody that's being an actual practitioner, then consider smashing the like button. It does help support the channel out a little bit. Okay, so let's begin with talking about why is retargeting so important. So have you ever noticed that no matter where you go, there seems to be these same ads that follow you everywhere, right? And sometimes you could be on a specific website and perhaps you added some stuff to the shopping cart, and then when you left, literally within like 10 seconds or a minute later, you saw an ad from this website asking you to complete the checkout. Well, that's what retargeting is. And by the end of this video, you're going to be able to understand exactly why the most profitable campaigns are always from retargeting, and what do these ads ultimately look like. And I'm going to be giving you 5 actual examples to show you why they're profitable and how you can implement them immediately. Okay, so if we understand what retargeting is and why it significantly decreases your ad costs, so in order to explain to you what your ad might look like, it is basically, the first angle is basically this. Angle number 1 on how to write any retargeting ad is acknowledging the previous step that they did and introducing the next step that they need to be doing. Okay, so what does that mean? So think about your sales process, and in order to execute this, all you need to do is you to have your Facebook tracking pixel installed. Now, if you don't know how to do that, I'm going to leave a link in the description box below, as well as a recommended video below to show you exactly how do you install the pixel and all that basic stuff. But if you don't know how to do that, be sure to watch that as the next video. I'll put in a recommended video in the cards later on. But all it means is when you have a Facebook-based tracking pixel installed together with conversion code, okay, all you need to do then is to acknowledge the previous step and introduce the next step. So what does this mean? So let's say if it's a webinar registration page where the sales process or the marketing process was to get them on the webinar registration page, and then the webinar confirmation page, and then the webinar live page, and let's say the sales process after that is on that live webinar, you make an offer and they go to the checkout page. Okay, so all it means is, if you take a look at this very basic process, okay, so it's registers for the webinar, they're confirmed, they may or may not show up. When they show up and listen to the webinar and the presentation, they may or may not go to the checkout page, right? It could be the case that if a very simple sales process could be, they land on your page, you ask them for their name and email address, sometimes known as an opt-in page or a lead page, and then after that, perhaps on the next page, you might make an offer, you sell a $50 product, okay? Could be something as simple as this, or it could be a phone call, whatever it is, okay? So whatever your sales process is, whether it's e-com store, the first angle, first type of ad is just to acknowledge the previous step and introduce the next step. So if your pixel installed, you'll be able to tell which pages they visited, but did not go to that next page, okay? So all that this first angle is, so can you imagine if I had an ad targeting people who visited this page but not this page? So for example, visited the webinar registration page but not the confirmation page. So what might this sound like? It would be, hey, this is Peng Joon here, and I noticed you visited my webinar titled How to Result It Without Doing the Thing That You Hate Doing, but I noticed somehow you didn't register for my webinar. Did something happen? Were you busy at that time? It's not often that I do these type of webinars. And if you would like to join us the next time we do this, be sure to click on this link below. Now, what I just said there could be a video, it could be an image, right? It's a messaging. Acknowledging the previous step, but introducing the next step could be people who registered for this webinar, but maybe they didn't show up. So what would my ad look like? It would be literally, hey, this is Peng Joon here, and first of all, congratulations for registering for this webinar. But when I did the webinar, I noticed that you weren't there. What happened? Right? Now, how do you do this? Now, this is where people get paranoid. People don't understand retargeting. This is when they freak out saying, wait a second, how does this person know they're selling our data, privacy, you know, Big Brother is watching upon us? And the reason is, it's just basic retargeting. Facebook can tell you visited this page, but not this page. And now, because they met this scenario, this parameter, all you're doing is you are sending people who visited this page, but not this page. And because your sample size is so small, your ad cost will be low because you're not targeting millions of people. You're literally just targeting people that have been on this page, but not this page. Right? So same thing here. Do you think it's possible that somebody came on your webinar, your video, your presentation, but did not go to the checkout page? Right? 100%, right? So even if you have a great conversion, say 10% of people bought, there's a good chance that 90% of people didn't go to the checkout page. So what if you could have a retargeting ad that acknowledges the previous step and introduces the next step? So it'll be, hey, this is Peng Joon here, and first of all, thank you for joining me on my webinar. I hope that you had a great time, as much as I did, teaching it. And I noticed that on the webinar where I made my offer for product name, somehow you didn't take me up on this offer. Now I understand that you might be skeptical. Now notice that my ad is targeting specifically based on their unique situation, and I'm introducing them the next step, right? So this could be for a free plus shipping, this could be for a webinar, this could be for an application funnel, whatever it might be. So let's hop over here again, where I'm going to walk you through some actual ad examples. Okay, so let's take a look at an image or an ad that acknowledges the previous step and introduces them the next step, okay? So can you imagine if, let's say my product over here, I'm going to head over to my computer, and this is an image of me holding up a book, platform closing, and all this image is an ad that says, did you forget something? I noticed that you visited my page to claim my book platform closing, but somehow you didn't complete your order. What happened, right? So all I'm doing now is like, so if people visit the page but didn't go to the checkout page, that is when instantly, well not instantly, well probably within the same day or the next day, that is when they would see this ad straight away because it meets the requirements of them visiting this page but not the following page. So all my ad is doing and saying is acknowledging them for the previous step and introducing them the next step. Okay, so that's the first angle. Angle number 2 is to utilize customers' review as well as testimonials to get people that's on the fence. Remember, retargeting is all about pushing people to the next step. Okay, so ad angle number 2 is when you can use reviews or testimonials of people who have utilized that product, program, or service that you might have, and now utilize that to people who perhaps visited your sales video, sales page, webinar, presentation, but didn't go to the checkout page. So this, what would an ad like that meets this criteria, what would it look like? Well, it would look something like this. So for example, people who visited my page, content multiplier formula, but if they didn't buy, that is when they might have a retargeting ad that shows something like this. Okay, let me just quickly play you a quick snippet so that you can understand how that might sound like.
For a long time, I've made millions of dollars. I've helped my students make millions of dollars. In fact, all of my students together have made over $100 million in the last 10 years. And I'm going to tell you something. This has been my missing piece. When I found this, I couldn't get a hold of it fast enough, and I bought this, and then he had a course that helped you get more out of it. And I said, oh, I got to have that too. And then he had this thing where he's going to give you his best ads. I was like, oh, I got to have that too. I really believe that this is going to be the missing piece in my puzzle in taking my business to $10 million in the next 12 months. So if you're thinking about getting content multiplier formula, I'm not doing this video testimonial for Peng because he's my friend. I'm not doing this because he paid me. I'm doing this because this is what I have been looking for 15 years in my business, and now I found it. And no amount of money is going to keep me from it. Don't let anything stop you from taking advantage of the content multiplier formula.
Now, let me just pause 1 second, right? So most of the time, what do people do with a video like this, a testimonial or a review from a customer? Most of the time, people just take a video like this or like a sizzle reel video or some sort of product review, and they put it in their Facebook page, and then they run that thing as an ad to cold audiences. And that's one of the, and then they wonder, like, why am I not getting any results? Why am I getting negative feedback? Why do people hate me for this ad? So just think about this way. If you didn't know who Peng Joon is, if you didn't know who this guy is, if you didn't know what content multiplier is, and all of a sudden, if one day you're at home scrolling Facebook, if you saw this video and it appeared on your feed, there's a big disconnect, right? It will be like, who's this guy? Who's Peng Joon? What's this book all about? It would not make sense. However, this ad is extremely profitable only when it is shown to people that visited my site, which is Content Multiplier Formula, but didn't buy. Now it makes sense. Why? Because first of all, the audience size is going to be significantly smaller. So that means I'm not spending millions of dollars targeting millions of people. It's going to be a small, laser-focused audience. And now my second angle is where I can utilize testimonials or customer reviews or sizzle reel videos that talks about the product or experience or the program, because that's only when it makes sense. So that's number 2. Number 2 is utilizing customer reviews as well as testimonials. That brings us to number 3. Okay, so number 3 is all about utilizing some sort of urgency as well as scarcity on your offer, right? So retargeting, remember, it's all about moving them to the next step. So how can you give a person more incentive to take the next step? It is when there's some sort of urgency and scarcity, right? Because if not now, then when? So how can you have some sort, whether it's discount? Now, I don't like utilizing discounts. I would say I almost never give discounts. I believe that a much better way, because that's when you're conditioning your audience to behave that way and not buy and just wait for discounts. So I always feel that discounts cheapens a brand. And I will always like to utilize urgency and scarcity with another type of mechanism. So either because there is a physical capacity, maybe because the event's happening really soon, maybe because prices of that commodity is going up. So if let's say you're an agency, you could be saying, Facebook ads are constantly going up, and if you don't begin now, then when is it ever going to be the right time to start? You could be saying that for real estate, for property. So find a way to give people a reason to act now. So my third type of retargeting ad is basically utilizing that. To think about, am I going to give out bonuses that's going to be pulled? Is it because it's a live event and that if they want to wait for the next one, it's going to be another 7 months from now? What type of incentive can I be utilizing so that they can see it's painful if they don't take action now, right? Urgency, scarcity, bonuses to answer that main objection of why should I take action right now, okay? Which brings us, so that's number 3. Okay, I don't think I need to show you actual ad examples for that. It's pretty basic. That brings us to number 4. Number 4, before I reveal to you what it is probably an ad type that I utilize all the time. So over here is an ad that says, hey, I noticed, let me just kind of zoom in a little bit. I noticed that you left without completing your order of platform closing. I was wondering why. Link. I know that the thought of speaking can be scary. I used to feel the same way, being this shy, introverted kid. I thought that speaking was for those who had talent. Okay, now notice what's happening right now. Okay, this ad here has got about 25,000 views, and you know what? I created this ad close to about 3 years ago that is still active and evergreen today. And let me just play you a snippet. We don't need to play the whole thing, but I want you to listen to the languaging so that you can understand what this number 4 is.
Hey, it's Peng Joon here, and I wanted to shoot you this quick video because I noticed that you came to my website, which was platform closing, but somehow you didn't order this book. Now, or maybe it's because Facebook's a little bit wonky and you did order it, but somehow you're receiving this. But chances are you came to my site, you didn't order it for a couple of reasons. And here's the thing I'd like to share with you. Now, chances are it's probably not the price of this book because it's a book, but rather perhaps you thought to yourself that speaking is not for you, or because you thought that maybe you're a shy, introverted person and speaking is for the people that is extroverted, it's for the people that has got the talent when it comes to speaking. Now, whatever your reason may be when it comes to...
Okay, let me just pause here because the whole video is like, you can see it's
learning how to speak.
You can see like the whole video is like 4 minutes. But what am I essentially doing in this video? which is angle number 4. Number 4 is, please write down, and hopefully you're taking notes as we're doing this. Number 4 is all about answering objections. You see, the reason why they didn't take you up on that next step is because there was some sort of objection. You gotta ask yourself, as you are running this ad, retargeting ad, getting people to the next step of your process. Number 4, the 4th angle is, what objection did they have with regards to that next step? Sometimes it could be price, right? But in many cases, there's a lot more objections than just price. It could be, I'm too old to do this, I'm too young to do this, I don't have the confidence, I don't have the charisma, right? I don't have the capital to do this. And in this case here, for me, I know if somebody visited, for example, that site Platform Closing, where I teach people how to speak, present, and sell online and offline, chances are the objection is not the $7.95, because it's $7, right? Chances are maybe they think, oh, it's not for me, I'm shy, I'm introverted, and that ad, which is a retargeting ad, is only shown to people who came to that page but didn't check out. And now this answers one objection. What is the objection? The objection is, I'm shy and introverted, therefore speaking might not be for me. So all I'm doing in that 3 minutes is, it's a retargeting video answering an objection. So what it is that you want to be doing is to think about what are the different objections your audiences might have with regards to that next step that you want them to do, and create a retargeting ad based on these objections and kind of rotate them. So whatever, think about what they are, and notice how that video Wasn't like some professionally done video. In fact, what I purposely did was I utilized the phone, very amateur looking angle, it's a little bit pixelated. I'm walking around, no bad lighting, bad angling, you know, my hands are kind of like shaking. Why do I do that? Because that's where you create that raw feel, right? Answering an objection. So understand that a retargeting video ad doesn't need to be this professional thing with lighting and equipment and state-of-the-art stuff. Shot from my phone. Okay, one of the most profitable ads for that funnel, still running today, still evergreen, even though it was set up 3 years ago. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 4 is all about objections. And that brings us to number 5. Number 5, perhaps I would show you what number 5 is from the actual ad itself. And in fact, I think there's 2 different ad samples that I would love to be able to share with you. But before I reveal to you number 5, as always, if you're enjoying this video so far, please let me know in the comments if you like this type of video where I show you actual ads, actual numbers, actual case studies, what your biggest takeaway is, how it's applicable for you, and any questions that you might have as well. Let me know in the comments. I could be doing a whole new video based on what it is that you want. Let me know what it is that you want. Smash the like button if you're finding this video helpful. It does help out the channel, and be sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this one. Okay, so that brings us to number 5, and number 5 is all about asking them if they're still interested in that thing. Okay, so let me kind of share with you my screen again. So this is an ad that the team recently did. Now, what is this ad? It's basically people who visited my funnel, which is $1 million ads, but didn't take action. Okay, so this 5th angle here is all about asking them if they're still interested in that step. So over here was like this ad angle is coming from the angle as I was waiting for you, but somehow you didn't show up, right? And I've aged significantly, so and so it's just coming from the angle of I was waiting for you, right? Where were you? So angle number 5 is just putting that thing, like it's expiring soon, I was waiting for you, deal. And so it's kind of like urgency and scarcity, but at the same time calling them out on their flaky purchasing behavior. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be a purchase. It could be didn't show up at the webinar, didn't register for the webinar, didn't show up for a phone call, visit the page but didn't give you their name and email, and just calling them out on that behavior. If I were to kind of exit this, you'll see that this is another ad that follows this angle, okay, where it says, you know, I don't know, this is obviously a parody of ransom. It's like, I don't know who you are, but I will find you and I will close you. Okay, so it's like, why haven't you taken advantage of my book yet? They're running out soon, limited time offer. So notice that I am incorporating these different elements that I'm showing you so far, right? Calling them out on their behavior, but also kind of like taking all 4 things that I've mentioned before this and kind of merging it together. So acknowledging them on the previous step, introducing them next one, having some sort of urgency and scarcity to it, but most importantly, getting them to, you know, to take action. So it's like, are you forgetting something? Did you forget to check out? Sometimes it could be, what happened? It could be, were you busy? This is when you want to be able to utilize all angles to discover or even have a mix and match which retargeting ad you like the most. In fact, let me know in the comments below which retargeting ad angle do you find most helpful. If you're starting out, I don't expect you to use all 5 of them. Let me know in the comments below which one you found personally most helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, watch my other related videos. If you have no idea how to install a pixel, how to track and execute what it is that I showed you here, I'm going to show you other recommended videos that I've created that's related to this. And if you want to be able to scale your Facebook ad campaigns profitably and take it to a whole new level, be sure to watch these other recommended videos.